If you're on a Medicare Advantage plan, some of the benefits you're counting on may not be the same next year. And this includes things like dental, vision, transportation, and even some of the over-the-counter allowances. And you see, that's because these benefits can be capped, reduced, or made harder to use from one year to the next year. And the sad part is a lot of people don't find out about these changes until they go and try to use the benefit. So in this video, I'm gonna show you which benefits are most likely to change. I'll explain why insurance companies make these changes, and then I'll walk you through exactly what you need to check every year to make sure you're not caught off guard. Now you see, a lot of people get caught off guard because they're thinking about their Medicare plan in the wrong way. Most people find a plan they like, they sign up, and then never give it a second look. I mean, I get it. Sometimes signing up for a new Medicare plan can be pretty daunting and can take sometimes several hours, and a lot of people don't want to go through that year in and year out. But now here's the thing that you may not realize, and that's that Medicare Advantage plans and Part D plans are run by private insurance companies. And those companies typically work with Medicare on one-year contracts. And what this means is that every year an insurance company can change what a plan costs, what it covers, what doctors are in network, and which extra benefits are included. And that's why the plan you enrolled into last year may look very similar to the plan you're automatically being rolled into for the next year, but in reality, it could be very different. And this is where a lot of people actually run into trouble. And that's because the benefits that are most likely to be reduced or changed are typically supplemental benefits. So these are the extra perks and benefits that Medicare Advantage plans offer that original Medicare typically does not offer. And in recent years, unfortunately, these extra benefits have been shrinking. So for example, between 2025 and 2026, the percentage of Medicare Advantage plans offering over-the-counter allowances shrunk from 73% down to 66%. Meal benefits dropped from 65% down to 57%, and transportation dropped from 30% down to 24%. So even if a benefit is still offered on a plan, it may just be a reduced amount of benefit that you receive. And so what you get from year to year could be a lot less than what you originally signed up for. And so you may be wondering, why would insurance companies take away benefits that a lot of people rely on? Well, one reason is money. Healthcare costs are generally going up across the board for things like doctors, medications, medical equipment, and other medical services. And so when costs go up, insurance companies have to absorb them somewhere. Now they want to try to keep their monthly premiums low so they can stay competitive, but they have to trim somewhere, and that's typically why these benefits often get cut. And now you see these supplemental benefits are also the easiest to cut because insurance companies are not legally required to offer them. They're just kind of an extra perk they use to kind of entice people. Now on top of that, regulations have shifted more costs onto insurance companies. For example, the Inflation Reduction Act capped out-of-pocket drug costs for many people. Now while this is great for you, it also means that insurance companies are now covering a larger portion of prescribed medications. So it's not necessarily that insurance companies are being greedy for no reason. It's that they need to make cuts to offset some of these higher costs, and a lot of these supplemental benefits are just the easiest things to cut. But regardless of why it happens, the result is still the same. And sometimes even if on paper it looks like you still have the same benefit, they may have restricted them so much and made them so difficult to use that it may seem like you don't even have that benefit anymore. So let's take a look at dental coverage, for example. Your plan may still say that it covers dental, but the annual cap may have dropped. Or maybe certain procedures like crowns, root canals, fillings, etc., maybe those are now excluded procedures. Some insurance companies have even added co-insurance to things that used to be covered at no cost. So in a situation like this, yes, you may still have dental coverage, but it may be covering less than it did in previous years. Another popular example is the over-the-counter allowance. So with these benefits, maybe you've seen that your dollar amount has been reduced, the number or the different retailers that you can visit has been restricted, different things like that. Transportation is another big one I want to highlight. You may still have transportation, but maybe the number of rides you're offered is now reduced. Maybe the different locations that you can visit is more restrictive. That's another big example. So now you see that the benefits on your Medicare Advantage plan may change from year to year, but there's a bigger issue that a lot of people miss and leaves them hanging with extra bills from year to year. And the big problem is that a lot of companies still advertise for these benefits without describing some of the changes that may have occurred. And that's why it's important to not solely rely on advertising, but speak with a Medicare specialist or someone you trust who can really describe a plan for you, as well as maybe even ask them to send you a copy of a specific plan so that way you can read through it yourself. So if you're in a Medicare Advantage plan and you're unhappy, or you just want to see what else is out there, here are some important dates to keep in mind. So Medicare annual enrollment period runs from October 15th to December 7th every year. During this time, you can switch your Medicare Advantage plan, you can look at different plans and really explore your options. Now, in preparation for the annual enrollment period, keep a lookout for your ANOC letter. That's ANOC. It stands for Annual Notice of Change, and that letter describes any changes that will be happening with your plan in the upcoming year. And so these letters will typically highlight things like changes in your network. So they'll let you know if certain doctors are still in network or out of network, changes in costs, and even changes in benefits, amongst other things. Now, the next period to keep in mind is called the open enrollment period, and that's gonna run from January 1st to March 31st. And during that time, you can get a one-time change on your Medicare Advantage plan. So let's say if you signed up in October, you're unhappy with your plan or felt like you signed up for the wrong plan, you can get a one-time switch during this time period. And lastly, if you missed both of those periods, you may qualify for what's called a special enrollment period. And that's where if you had major life events, like maybe you changed jobs, you changed coverage, you moved, different things like that may qualify you for a special enrollment period, and which time you may be able to switch your plan, even if it's not during one of those periods that I mentioned. Now, the big takeaway here is make sure to review your plan every year. So even if you have a plan that you currently like, let's say it has good dental coverage, you have doctors that you're seeing that you really like, and all your prescription medications are covered on the formulary, again, this may change from year to year. So maybe next year your doctor is no longer in network, maybe a benefit that you really like is no longer offered or reduced. So it's important to check yearly just to make sure that your plan still fits your lifestyle. Medicare Advantage plans are not set it and forget it. The extra benefits that make these plans enticing can be reduced, removed, or restricted on a year-to-year basis. And the only way really to know what's going on is for you to check or to speak with a specialist, someone that you trust that can help you review your plan. Now, speaking of costs, many people are shocked by the cost of Medicare in 2026. And I've got a video right here that talks about why these costs are increasing and what you can do about it. So watch the video to find out what changes may be coming to your plan.